Hello and welcome to Scrolling with Ceazor. Today is July 24th, 2026. Okay, I kind of slept in today, but that's okay, I guess. I'm still getting this out. It's a little bit later today, but anyhow, charts look okay today. Things are down a little bit, so we've got some red, about 1% across the board. BTC is down about 1.5%, so ETH BTC is up 0.5%. The charts look okay. How's gold looking? Gold is up a tiny bit on the day, but still down on the week. Well, no, maybe on the week, I guess it's up still, but in the past couple days, past 3 days, it's down. How's Hype looking? Hype's trying to recover its downward trajectory, but still sitting within my range, which is pretty nice. Anyhow, so that's about it for the charts. I'm not sure if today or right now is a good time to open a long. It doesn't really look too great. I would say it needs to come down a little bit more on ETH. And then maybe if you're looking to trade along, you might want to do that. Let's see. Yeah, I would say we still got a little bit of room for downward trajectory. However, it could definitely turn around here. I don't know. Now, moving on, let's get into the tweets. So first of all, I want to talk about Rectimedes. Rectimedes does this tweet every once in a while. I don't think it comes out every day, or it just doesn't come across my feed every day. But it's a fantastic TLDR. There's just tons of information in here, tons of little things he's read today that he thought were interesting, and all put into a single tweet, and it's quite nice. So I would highly suggest you follow him and keep an eye out for these crypto macro stuff that he's looking at today. Tweets, good stuff. Okay, this is pretty interesting. So I didn't read through this yet, and this is kind of on my desk and something I want to read, but I haven't read it quite yet. So as you can see, it's quite long and expansive. But basically, just the heading of this kind of caught my attention. It says a renter's mortgage on chain. The renter's part is a little bit questionable for me, but I have to read what it exactly says. But I've been in the process of buying a house right now, and if you don't mortgage your house, it's kind of silly, right? It's like free leverage, right? Now, of course, you want to make sure you check your interest rates and make sure you can beat that interest rate somewhere else, which is generally pretty easy with DeFi and even traditional stocks and preferred shares and stuff like that. So I think it's a good thing to do. However, it's been a nightmare for me. It's been terrible. It's been people only work 9 to 5. You get one step forward every day. If you push, if you don't push, it takes days and days. Little amendments here and there take 3-4 people to check them and sign them, and it's just a nightmare. It's just so slow and so terrible. But on chain, you can probably get a mortgage in, I would say, a couple days at most, maybe instantly. That's what I'm hoping for. So anyway, so you can kind of check this out and find out what this actually is. I don't think it's what I'm talking about. I don't think it's individual users trying to get a mortgage for their house on chain. I recall reading about this in the past with something to do with Yearn, and it's more about this is a land owner or some sort of institution that owns real world real estate and kind of shares those profits with their token holders. So anyway, so you can check it out, read through it again. I'll probably read through this again and bring my memory back up to date. Okay, so this is interesting. So this is a long tweet. You can go through this and kind of read through all his data and find out what he's noticing. And I thought it to be pretty interesting. Okay, so the key thing is here, so Robinhood spent 2 years building a blockchain for tokenized stocks. When they launched, it just exploded with retail users trading meme coins. So it's kind of interesting that, and I thought about it, and it's kind of that's kind of pathetic, but at the same time, if the users want to use the blockchain to trade meme coins, and Robinhood continues to just move towards tokenized stocks and continues to build that and uses the meme coin volume to subsidize or to to bootstrap that goal, then I think it's okay. People want to trade meme coins, they can trade it, right? If they want. I don't really think retail should be trading meme coins, but it makes the Robinhood chain money. They're making revenue. They can use that revenue to bring stocks on chain and actually try to get us, like, transition us from the old system. Okay, it's kind of like, you own some sort of store and you want to sell items, but those items aren't very popular, so you sell a different item for a little while and get people in, so people come in to buy your popular item, and then they see the other items that you're selling, and maybe they get into that. So I kind of think this is interesting. So yeah, there's a pretty good thread, lots of data, but that's the main thesis of this, is what I said. Okay, so Ombre Wallet drops this new feature, which is pretty cool. Ombre Wallet informs you if an ENS domain receiving address has changed since you last sent funds to it. Now, I don't know who's sending funds to ENS wallets like on a regular basis, but maybe there's some payroll stuff going on with this. But if someone loses their ENS and that ENS is like taken over, like they allow it to expire, and that ENS is taken over by someone else, then this is going to tell you that, the address is different now. Are you sure you want to send to it? And then you can go and, message the person who you're expecting to send to and say, do you still have control of your ENS? And so forth. This is why I don't really like the ENS system. This is why I would much rather, like, when people ask me for my wallet or ask people for their wallet, I say, give me the wallet address that you want this money. I don't want your ENS. And I don't give my ENS very much either because of that. Because ENSs expire. Wallets don't. So why would you want to, okay, it's a little easier to type in Ceazor.eth than it is to type in this hexadecimal thing. But I think you should always go to, every time you send money to anyone, you should always go to the source of where they told you that wallet and then click that and send it. You shouldn't have like a library of wallets and just try to make it easier. Now, of course, there is some like smart contracts or some scripts and stuff like that that can make things easier. But that again, that's the source because you've added it in there and it's not changing. Okay, it's not like you're copy and pasting from your history, right? Moving on. So Silo Finance dropped this thing here. You can click here and go to it, and it's like a lender snapshot. It says update. Silo has filed an official recovery claim with Stream Finance on behalf of every lender exposed to Stream issued assets. XUSD and XBTC. Here's how we built the claim. What's next? So you can go to this and you can put in your wallet and you can see what sort of claim you have and so forth, and kind of check your wallet versus this dashboard. I wasn't able to find anything. Like I do have like say I use my normal Ceazor.eth wallet and I put it in here. I'm not exactly sure what this means. I needed to double check it. Like as you can see, I did deposit into some of these Stream Finance, this Valamore growth, but I think I pulled out before it collapsed. So I think that's why it says like 0.00 shares. I'm not in that position, I think. But I was a little bit able to double check this stuff and stuff. But you can come here and you can check your wallets and see what is the case for you, and if you have any claimable stuff. Now, as you can see, there's no claim button. Now, I think it's just kind of them showing everybody what you will be able to claim, assuming or what your loss is, and see what they get from Stream Finance. Okay, Etherealize. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink, countries are racing to launch their own stable coins. That's good, I guess. I'm sure he knows. I'm happy for that. More and more stable coins on chain is good. I think it's good for all of us, especially if you're an ETH bag holder or maybe even Solana. I'll give them that. The stable coins are being traded on Solana and so forth, but I think it's fantastic for Ethereum mainnet. Okay, moving on. So Frax Finance is showing that FRX USD is a fantastic coin to pair your stablecoin with. So here we have Tangent. Tangent has two LPs. They have USG, FRX USD, and USG USDC. And as you can see, the APR for the FRX pool is bigger than the APR for the USDC pool. Now, it could be a case of TVL. Maybe the USDC has twice the TVL of the FRX USD, and if you put in a significant amount of money, then you will bring this APR down significantly. That's a possibility. However, I will mention that FRAX is more likely to actually come and help incentivize this pool or vote on it or that kind of stuff. So I think it's a fantastic idea to try to use Frax as at least one of your pool's other coins, because they will support you. They will also retweet you. They will like right now, Frax Finance is retweeting Tangent Finance, giving people the idea that this is a place you can go and learn about this stablecoin. You can decide if you want to make a CDP on this place with your assets. However, what has Circle done for Tangent Finance other than nothing, other than milk them a little bit, because they are using USDC, and USDC is making money because they are using USDC. So they're just like a parasite on Tangent and Tangent's desire to grow their business. But maybe USDC is so big they don't need to care about the little guys. I'm moving on. So Liquidity Bold. So there's another stablecoin opportunity here. Bold versus AV USD on Curve Finance is paying 20%. So 20% if you it's up to 20% of course. So if you put it on Stake DAO, then you can get their VE boost. I'm not sure if this pool has a vault on Yearn or not, or even Convex. You do a little bit digging deeper, but yeah, there's a pool here with two stable coins that you can check out. Of course, do your due diligence on AVUSD and find out if that's a protocol you wish to be exposed to. Okay, Sam has an interesting chart here. The distribution of volume between crypto and RWAs is so stark. So on the left here we have a chart of the volume of trading volume on Hyperliquid between crypto assets. And as you can see, BTC is heavily dominates everybody. ETH is dominating second everybody. And then it just starkly, it's like a exponential curve downward. However, all the RWAs, you see, you have the S&P 500, the CL, the SpaceX coin. So all these real world assets, they're not, so stark. The chart is not as stark. However, there's 2 billion volume on BTC, and the biggest here is 450. I can't read it, 485 million or so. So the volume's still a lot on crypto, but the difference between trading BTC versus trading Doge, and the difference between trading YVX 100 versus DRAM is not so stark. And I think that's pretty interesting. I think people like to trade these stocks because stocks aren't quite as volatile, and you can go long without getting liquidated for a less of a little less risk. Like I trade when I trade perps, I generally use 5x so that I don't have to worry too much about getting liquidated. And I don't take huge bets. I take bets that I use isolated margins so that I know how much I could possibly lose if it continues to dump forever. Okay, so Polaris. Polaris has an interesting thing here. It says maybe we've misunderstood governance. A governance system where most proposals end up being decided by a small fraction of token holders doesn't exactly scream decentralization. But even if it did, we'd still ask the same question. What should token holders be able to vote to fundamentally change what the protocol is? No, should, not what. Should they be able to vote? That doesn't look like a particularly good way to build something that's meant to last. So we are taking a different path with Polaris, introducing a bounded stewardship model. The community has actual influence over the protocol growth, can steer incentives, refine parameters, support business initiatives, and adapt the protocol in every way. What it can't do is wake up one day and decide Polaris should become something completely different. So all the code is immutable. but there are parameters to change. So that's kind of what they're trying to build and what they're going to deploy pretty soon. Okay, I've got one more tweet for you. There's nothing to do with crypto, and it's definitely like clickbaitish type rage politics stuff. And I try my best to stay away from this, but like this is the first long form article that Jordan Peterson has written in quite some time, and it's titled "They're Not Rape Gangs." So I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna read this because Jordan Peterson's fantastic. He's so articulate and good to read and listen to. But I don't know if this is the type of thing I want to consume for my own sanity. But it is there. So yeah, I thought I would share it, and it's pretty nice. Well, it's good that he's writing again. I think he's pretty sick. But anyhow, so that's it for today. I hope this has been interesting and useful. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.